SEPTA is a transit system with something of a long and painful history. Now, it seems that story is coming to a close. Years of mismanagement and underfunding have led to a death spiral. Over the next few months, SEPTA plans to cut 5 regional rail lines, 1 subway line, 2 trolley lines, and over 50 bus lines. This, combined with severe fare hikes and no trains after 9 p.m., ensures the collapse of the entire system. In August of 2025, before the initial wave of cuts went into place, I set out to document SEPTA's vast, dilapidated rail network, knowing history could soon claim it like so many others. SEPTA operates a trolley system that once traversed the entire city. Today it only consists of the lines that head west out of the tunnel to City Hall. Most U.S. cities with remnants of their old trolley systems upgraded them to modern light rail standards. SEPTA presumably would have, if they could have afforded it. One of these lines is slated for discontinuation, the 10 to Overbrook. These clips were taken at a time when the tunnels to Center City were closed, making this normally disused junction the center of the system. On the 11 line, there's a very interesting site where the trolley line crosses a freight railroad. The most interesting of SEPTA's trolley lines is probably the 15, which runs with vintage PCC cars from the 1940s. This isn't a heritage service, though. They literally don't have enough of the newer trolleys for this line. You may have noticed by now that Philly drivers are morons. This is why funding transit is so important. In the far western suburbs of Philadelphia, there is a group of interurban trolley lines. They are built somewhat differently than the urban trolleys, making for an interesting contrast. The 101 trolley ends in Media, Pennsylvania, the last small town in America with a trolley going down its main street. The 15 and 10 trolley lines are slated for closure by the end of the year. This clip of a 15 car was shot from a station of the rapid transit system, which we will now discuss. I've often referred to SEPTA's rapid transit as what New Yorkers think their trains are. SEPTA's rapid transit network consists mainly of two lines, the Market Frankford Elevated and the Broad Street Subway. Both have essentially been left to rot already. Enough water has leaked into the Broad Street Subway for moss to grow on the tracks. Meanwhile, the unhoused masses gather under the girders of the Market Frankford Elevated. Unlike many videos on Philly, I will spend no time gawking at such unfortunate people. Instead, I would like to show you this child's mural seen in an elevated station. Without further ado, let's look at the Broad Street Subway. Note, most videos I got here are very loud. When I was on this train, a group of free buskers, including a 7-year-old, did an entire breakdancing routine. It was pretty impressive. Branching off of the Broad Street Subway is the Ridge Avenue Spur. Always underfunded and underpatronized, it's slated for closure by the end of the year. The Ridge Spur also contains what is currently SEPTA's only abandoned subway station, at Spring Garden Street. It was closed in the 1980s during that decade's wave of SEPTA cuts. More may soon follow. The line ends at this small platform at 8th and Market Station, where you can transfer to the Market Frankford line or the trains to New Jersey on the Patco Speed line. Please do not pay attention to that guy in the background that sounds like he's about to orgasm. Hey, can we just cut to the next clip? Okay, thank you. Next, we have the Market Frankfurt elevator. Between 13th and 30th Street, the line shares a subway tunnel with the trolleys. Here is one of the line's two elevated sections. This one is on Front Street. Shortly after taking that clip, I proceeded to board a train that broke down. I have decided not to ride these trains ever again. In my opinion, the blow the regional rail system will take stings the hardest. Once you could take its trains all the way to places like Reading and Allentown. Soon, you basically won't be able to take them anywhere. I have no other words to share. I do have several videos though, primarily of the lines initially slated for closure. This is the Chestnut Hill West Line, built in the 1880s to compete with the Chestnut Hill East Line it closely parallels. That competition has ended. This line will close. Another line slated for closure is the old Pennsylvania Railroad Main Line, namesake of the affluent group of suburbs. This is because SEPTA rents it from Amtrak. Here we see a train with the Penske's Keystone logo. Also slated for closure are SEPTA services on the Northeast Corridor. Amtrak trains, including Northeast Regional and Acela trains, will continue to blow by their stations without slowing down. SEPTA's regional rail trains come into 3 stations in the center city. This is 30th Street, the interchange with Amtrak. If it looks overcrowded now, imagine what it'll be like when service drops down to a bare minimum. To end this video, I'd like to look at a regional rail line that, in my opinion, encapsulates the slow, painful death of SEPTA, the Kinwood Line. The Kingwood Line is the final remnant of a Pensy line which once went all the way to Norristown. It, too, paralleled the line of a competitor. In 1962, the Pennsylvania truncated it to Mayanoke. In 1986, it was temporarily cut back further due to flood damage. Then, in the 2010s, the final nail in the coffin came. Infuriatingly, the unused part of the line became yet another undignified rail trail, despite still being useful, as non-automotive transit in the US must fight over scraps. To me, this encapsulates the tragedy of SEPTA, a mix of mismanagement, negligence, and the profound animosity the United States has for rail transportation. The Kingwood Line has just 3 stations, served by one-car shuttle trains. It feels more like a trolley than SEPTA's actual trolleys. Between these 2 clips, the conductor asked if I wanted to get on and escape this place. I declined. When Jesus therefore had received the vinegar, he said, "It is finished." And he bowed his head and gave up the ghost.